South Carolina Congresswoman Nancy Mace took to the floor of the Congress and detailed herself being raped and potentially many other women by a group of 4 men, and then she went into a bunch of problems with the state attorney general in South Carolina. Now, I don't know a whole lot about this case. It's evidently been with SLED, the South Carolina Law Enforcement Division, for a year. But these guys are out walking around. And the reaction to her has some disturbing qualities to it. So we're going to get into this. Here's a local newscast in Charlotte, North Carolina. And they have on the Attorney General, Alan Wilson. And he refutes everything, and listen to what he says.
My office had nothing to do with this case. This case was never reported to us. It was never given to us. We were never consulted on it. The State Law Enforcement Division has an open investigation, which I only learned about the day before Ms. Mace's speech when she circulated her remarks to members of the media around the state of South Carolina. We learned about it from her. She purposefully mischaracterized and lied about the role of the office on the floor of Congress last night.
Alan Wilson is correct about the investigative body first handles it, then it hands it off to his office when they complete their investigation. But as Representative May said, the investigation's dragged on for a year, and she makes it clear that she didn't get a victim's advocate for 10 months. And that office is run by the South Carolina Attorney General, Alan Wilson's office. So he's dodging what she accused him of, really. And the reporter lets him go and doesn't challenge him about it.
I waited 320 days before receiving a victim's rights advocate. I was given a victim's rights advocate 10 months, 2 weeks, and 6 days later. 10 months. 10 and a half months the state waited to give me a victim's rights advocate. What is wrong with you people?
Ms. Mace has had my cell phone number since she's been in Congress. She and I have been at events together. And she's never once raised this to me. She's never once brought it to my attention.
I'm really not sure where he thought he was going with this. Nancy Mace quickly took care of this. She has my cell phone number stuff.
Well, Representative Mace has been tweeting quite a bit over the past few hours here today. And when one responds to your statement that you released last night, reading, quote, elitist SC Attorney General Alan Wilson must have forgotten most victims don't have his personal cell. We took the proper legal channels, but apparently he won't step in unless you send him a nudge text. Your response to that?
Well, that's a mischaracterization. I was speaking to her. She and I were colleagues and friends at one time.
Again, neither one of them addresses the victim's advocate delay. And he's making Nancy's point that he's an elitist because she has special access to him. It's a little bit of a cheap shot, I guess, but I mean, she got him here, and this isn't going to age well if he's going to run for governor.
I'm not concerned with anything else other than the credibility of my office and the men and women in law enforcement who she is undermining and attacking their credibility. By attacking my credibility, she's attacking the countless men and women in blue who are out there trying to do justice.
I heard shades of Peter Fauci in this, where if you attack him, you attack the science. So if you attack Alan Wilson, you attack justice. Dude, again, I don't think that's what you should have said. We're talking about many women who may have been victims of sexual assault, and this guy's big concern is his credibility in his office.
Look, and she's banking on people not understanding how the criminal justice system works. She's banking on that because she is really trying to create a publicity stunt here.
So he says she's doing it for the gram. She's doing it for a publicity stunt. You know, I don't know who's advising Mr. Wilson, but they need to be fired.
Now, we reached out to Congresswoman Mace's office for comment about the response from the Attorney General's and today's interview as well. And so far, we have not heard back.
Seeing that you missed the victim's advocate delay, which is her biggest accusation against the Attorney General, Alan Wilson, I'm not sure I would comment either if I was Nancy Mace.
I got to tell you, I got a question about that because the date of the investigation by SLED into her allegations dates back to 2023. And yet she has waited till just weeks after announcing that she is thinking about running for governor to target you with this from the floor of Congress. That timing raises a lot of red flags for me. You want to comment on it?
It seems that there's an effort to say Nancy Mace is lying about everything she said on the floor there. Now, if she has totally made this up, she's going to get in a lot of trouble eventually.
Her timing for why she's attacking me and the way that she's attacking me is obviously very interesting.
And he's calling it a publicity stunt again here.
She has set back the victim services community back decades.
This setback decades is It's very talking pointsy, and I've heard it several times from this guy.
She has set back the victim services community back decades.
I've had victims advocates all over the state of South Carolina reach out to me today and tell me that they think that this has set victims advocacy back decades.
I doubt that. I think Laura Hudson, the executive director of the South Carolina Victim Assistance Network, said that Nancy Mace set us back about 25 years. And she's the only person I called when said that. She's featured in the liberal rag website Mother Jones saying this quote. And then he repeats it. And it seems to be the talking point du jour to slap down Nancy Mace going out and making the speech. So this case has taken over a year. She didn't get a victim's advocate for 10 months. No one is challenging that. And they're all saying she's doing it for a publicity stunt because she wants to run for governor. They're calling her a liar. And then they wonder why women don't want to come forward. People are blaming an alleged rape victim of setting back victims' advocacy for decades because she spoke about it on the floor of Congress. It's pretty evident they don't like that. They feel like she cheated somehow and she should say it in a forum where someone can attack her and sue her. I don't know how this is going to play out. It's very fascinating. I don't know who's telling the truth, but this set us back decades talking point is really distasteful, no matter what you think. I'm going to keep an eye on this case. Very fascinating. We'll see how this plays out in the coming months.